Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 1 for March 11th's locals, officially caught up with this week's current locals. What a surprise. So we have Kashtira on the left, Cash Money Kazuha on the left versus C Goody, the Swordsoul Emperor. Should be a pretty nice matchup here. So we're going to see Cash go first, starting with Unicorn, grabbing Birth, normal summon Fenrir effect to go ahead and search out a Rise Heart, and they're going to go ahead and special summon Rise Heart. They'll banish a Cash card from the deck and make the opponent banish the top 3 cards of their deck face down. And they'll go ahead and take a look at that. One of those cards looked to be Moyi. And they're going to go ahead and banish Ogre from the deck. And then they're going to go ahead and overlay all 3 into a Rise Heart. And they'll set 2 cards and pass turn. So no zone locking shenanigans here. Just going for the new, I think, the new end board here for Kashtira. A little bit safer, a little bit more conservative. In the draw phase, we will see Book of Eclipse, and it will get ashed. And when that card gets banished, a new chain. A Rise Heart effect to go ahead and attach it to it as a material. And it being a macrocosmos right now is going to matter just a little bit. So some of the Swordsoul monsters do require hitting the grave to proc their effects, like Long Yan, Moyi, Tai, etc., etc. And of course, let's not forget the Tennies needing to hit the graveyard as well, if they do plan on linking them off for any sort of monk. And they'll go ahead and get to attach another when the emergence gets banished. They'll attach Ash. And then I'll go ahead and normal summon Moyi. Moyi will reveal Long Yun. And looks like on resolution, they'll use the Arise Heart to go ahead and attempt to banish the Moyi. They'll chain Heavenly Dragon Circle. That is going to come in very clutch here to go ahead and dodge that effective Arise Heart. They did have Imperm that they could have used there, but of course, you know, Dragon Circle would have dodged that all the same. Then I guess they could have chained... well, I think it attributes for cost. So, yeah, they'll go ahead and grab a copy of Ashina. And then they have Vashuda in hand already. And that is going to go ahead and attempt to immediately out the Arise Heart. And it'll do just that. So they still have to worry about Imperm there. They're going to go ahead and use Long Yun, discard Ashina. They also have Book of Eclipse as well. So they have 2 tokens on board and the Long Yun. Also, a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so we can get to 30,000 subscribers. And if you've already subscribed, I appreciate the support. And don't forget to, of course, check out the other ways you guys can support the channel down at the links below in the description. So Book of Eclipse will be fired off there. That is going to go ahead and force him to use Ashina Engrave now to bring out the Shithana. Playing through quite a bit here. Playing through the Banish from Arise Heart, playing through the Imperm, the Book of Eclipse, the Ash. Playing through it all here to still try to establish some kind of board. That's why I love, even back, you know, when I played Swordsoul, you know, kind of around this time last year, I loved playing things like Heavenly Dragon Circle and Shithana just for the added utility they offer. He will go for Chi Xiao. Chi Xiao will attempt to search, and now finally using that Imperm there, to stop the Chi Xiao effect to search. But they still have an interruption set up, and they still get that draw in the end phase off that opponent's Book of Eclipse just to draw 1 there, and they still have Long Yun plus a token, so that's still threatening a Baron play next turn, and they will want to prioritize clearing those cards. We'll see our Kashtira player draw for turn and start by bringing back Kashtira Ogre off of Birth, and they could use the Ogre effect to go ahead and search the preparations if they would like. Just want to make sure I have the Kashtira cards pulled up. Well, looks like they are going to use Ogre, and we're going to see the Chi Xiao attempt to negate it. That's going to banish the Shishana to negate, and then they're going to spec out Fenrir. Well, yeah, spec out Fenrir off of Theosis, and then Fenrir is going to go ahead and grab the Scareclaw Cache. Then we'll see him spec out the Scareclaw Cache by banishing Theosis. That'll proc Theosis to add back a banished Kashtira card. That's going to go ahead and grab a Rise Heart. And there are already 3 summons into the play here, so probably are still being very, very mindful and cautious of Nibiru. probably determining what kind of plays they are going to make next here, whether it's going to be just another Rise Heart. They'll go Battle Phase. They'll clear Long Yun, clear the token. And then, as expected, they're going to go into a Rise Heart. And they'll activate the effect. Go ahead and banish Chi Jiao. And then, mandatory effect, attach the Theosis to it. So that eventually when they use the Arise Heart again, probably during the opponent's turn, they can use the Theosis's banish effect to add back another banished Kashtira card. They'll pass turn to our Swordsoul player. It looks like they do have another Emergence in hand. So we'll see if they're able to beat just the Arise Heart here with Birth. They're going to go ahead and activate Long Yun, discarding Emergence, bring out Token that's going to proc a Rise Heart again to attach an Ogre. And that'll go ahead and get them to a Synchro 10. They need to be able to out this Arise Heart. And I imagine they'll go for Baron here. So they'll go for Baron. And they're going to go ahead and use Baron to destroy the Arise Heart. And then they're going to activate Emergence and grab Taya. And that is going to signal the end of Game 1, as they'll definitely be able to OTK there with Taya shenanigans. So Game 2, Swordsoul up 1-0 over Kashtira. We will see Kashtira go first here. As expected, they're going to activate Pressured Planet to go ahead and search for a Unicorn. They'll special summon the Unicorn, activate the effect. Also, reminder, guys, check out Imperium Duelist at the link below. And don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off to save on your order and support the channel in the process. We'll see them activate Theosis, targeting the Unicorn. So then go ahead and bring out a non-wind Kashtira. They're going to go ahead and bring out Fenrir, of course. Fenrir effect. Go ahead and search out Ogre. And they're going to activate Birth and normal summon Ogre. Ogre effect to go ahead and search for a Kashtira trap. So probably grab Preparations. And they're probably just going to go ahead and make a Rise Heart. Very similar end board to what we saw in Game 1, wanting to respect Nibiru, especially now that we are post-side. Just going for the Arise Heart, and they're going to go ahead and activate Pot of Prosperity. And they're going to go ahead and banish 6, revealing Ash, D-Shifter, Pressured Planet. I think that might have been Big Bang, Ash, and one other card there. So they might have taken a hand trap. And they're going to go ahead and use the Arise Heart effect to attach a Garura. So just in case something, happens to the Arise Heart, if it gets outed, right, they can get essentially a free draw off that. Nice little draw 1 after losing a monster to kind of help break even on a little card advantage. So we'll see him set 3 and pass turn. We're going to see our Swordsoul player open up with a copy of Emergence to go ahead and grab Moyi. Emergence will get banished, proccing a Rise Heart, attaching a Goliath to it. And I only just learned yesterday that this card is a machine, so now I get why they play Goliath. So now it can't be destroyed by card effects. They'll activate Book of Eclipse. And Book of Eclipse is going to get ashed. That is going to allow them to basically freely resolve Pot of Desires, banishing 10 to draw 2. Now that they've resolved Desires, though, that is going to make Diablosis much more scary going into the following turns. They'll be able to now banish an additional 10 off the top of their deck if they are able to resolve Diablosis. So definitely applying a lot of pressure here to himself, essentially, in this particular matchup by resolving Desires, but you kind of have to in this situation. And for those that are curious as to why you can Ash Book of Eclipse, it does include an effect that would allow your opponent to draw cards, or will allow cards to be added from the deck to hand via drawing because of that end phase clause that it has. So hence why it can be ashed. And why some people favor Book of Lunar Eclipse and regular Book of Moon over Book of Eclipse because of that very reason, that those cards cannot be ashed. But they aren't as great at outing bigger boards. So we're going to see him bring out Long Yun after specking Ecclesia. He is going to use a Rise Heart there to banish the Long Yun. And triggering a bunch of effects here, like Theosis and a Rise Heart to reattach. Getting back cards for next turn. We're going to see him normal summon Moyi, revealing Vishuda. So they do have Vishuda in hand and a token on board, so this will allow them to be able to get rid of that Arise Heart fairly easy, simply just by using that in-hand effect of Vishuda. So they will use that now. They're going to go ahead and target the Arise Heart to put it back to the extra deck. They'll do just that. And there go all those materials. And Garura amongst them will trigger, allowing him to draw a card. So just a free little draw one there. Very cool. They still have Imperm and Preparation set in the back line. And they've gotten basically 2 free cards in their hand this turn. I think one off Theosis and one off the Garura. And now they have a Book of Eclipse of their own that they'll activate, setting both the Ecclesia and the Moyi. And they're going to go ahead and activate Preparations there. Bringing back Fenrir. They'll draw 2 there in the end phase because they flipped up 2 monsters from the Book of Eclipse. But yeah, otherwise in a pretty good spot. They're going to go ahead and use Fenrir. That will get hit with Effect Veiler, stopping them from searching out another monster. They're going to go ahead and normal summon Unicorn, activate Unicorn effect, and they have a second Effect Veiler. And obviously they cannot use Unicorn here because it's already negated by the Fenrir. But they still have Birth to go ahead and bring back Ogre. That'll proc Ogre effect here to go ahead and search out a copy of Big Bang, which is going to be another form of interruption that our Swordsoul player will have to deal with next turn. Yeah, so they must. It's basically kind of like similar to Evenly Matched Big Bang, the way it works. We're going to see him go into the battle phase, clear as many monsters as possible, and they'll get to look at the opponent's top 5, banish a card from it. Going to kind of hurt their top deck there a little bit. Get rid of any potential powerful one-ofs or key engine pieces that only ever played at 1. They'll make a Rise Heart, and they are just going to admit defeat there, realizing that they cannot beat that with the follow-up that they have. And we are into a Game 3 situation. Tied up 1 game apiece here. We are going to see Swordsoul go first. And we'll see who will be able to take the dub here in our first round feature match. We're going to see him start with Vishuda, special summon out Monk. And we'll see him link. Well, after linking for the Monk, use Vessel. Card I haven't seen in Swordsoul in a while. Love to see it in the deck, though, as I feel like it definitely belongs there. Tenyi Vessel still goes hard. So we'll be able to bring out Vishuda and Adhara. It's going to allow them a free Synchro 8 into Chi-Jiao without using a normal summon. There it is, Starlight Chi-Jiao effect. To go ahead and search out for a Swordsoul card. They're going to go ahead and grab a copy of Blackout here. And they could probably continue to extend further, but they are playing it safe. They're going to go ahead and use Adhara to add back Ashina, setting 1 and passing. So they definitely could have done more there had they desire to do so, but they are respecting Nibiru here. Because if they do get Nibiru, they probably could do quite a bit more through it if they just, you know, attempt to leave main, force the opponent to use it or lose it, right? And they'll just pass on the Chi-Jiao Blackout, hoping it's going to be enough. They're going to Ash Pot of Prosperity, keeping the opponent from digging several cards deep to find exactly what they need to out the board. They're going to go and spec Fenrir. And they're going to use Chi-Jiao on the Fenrir, denying them another search and potential removal. This Fenrir is a great going second card as is. We're going to see them normal summon Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. And 2 things that can come from this. One is the Donner Dagger for Hire, and one obviously being Baron de Fleur, which would pose a bit of a threat. And if you're going to use a Blackout, this is a pretty good time to do it. I think they were taking a moment here to decide whether or not they wanted to go ahead and burn the Blackout. Because again, Blackout is one of those cards that, says you have to have 2 cards to target. You can't just pop 1 with Blackout. So they'll clear those 2, and the opponent will continue to extend, though. They'll summon out Scareclaw Cash by banishing Fenrir, and then they're going to go ahead and summon out a regular Rise Heart. And they will make the opponent banish the top 3. I think I see an Ecclesia there amongst those. I couldn't really see the rest of them. And they're going to banish the Theosis from the deck to grab back a banished Kashtira card. Let's see what they're going to go into here. They are looking at Mind Hacker. They do have a Fenrir in hand. I believe that was the one that was added back off Theosis. Well, I'm not sure how it got banished. I think it got popped by Blackout, unless I missed something. They're going to go ahead and... Oh, it was banished off the Rise Heart. Yeah, okay, that makes much more sense. So they will go for Diablosis. And they do have, I think, 3 banished face down. So they can go ahead and not only rip from the extra deck, but banish a few more additional cards from the top of their deck. So you're going to go ahead and take a moment here to decide what they want to go ahead and get rid of. Also, I think there's a bit of delay right here because I accidentally knocked my friend's side deck off the table. So you have me to blame for that. But they're going to go ahead and continue to peruse through the extra deck here, deciding on what they want to get rid of. Baron de Fleur is a pretty high value target, so they will go ahead and get rid of that. And now there are 4 cards banished face down, so they will banish an additional 4 face down. And then battle phase, Crash Diablosis into Chi-Jiao. Main phase 2, spec out Fenrir, set 1, and pass turn. Hoping it's going to be enough here to hold off. Potentially very explosive Swordsoul turn. They will activate Emergence. Card's been very loyal to them this entire match. And this honestly might just spell defeat here. They do have Taya in hand. They do have Ashina. They have Blackout in grave, which is going to make for even a better turn 1. Well, not turn 1 essentially, but a better turn just in general for them, generating more tokens, more synchro plays. Really not much to have to try to get through here. Just a Fenrir in one set. They're going to activate Long Yun, discard Ashina. You know, are you going to use your Fenrir here or not? Otherwise, here comes Vishuddha. Bounce it back to the hand. And now they're going to go ahead and use Ashina. They don't need to worry about Worm locking themselves because one of the best non-Worm monsters in their extra deck has just been banished. Summon Adhara. Synchro 7 into Yazi. And that is going to help clear that back row and burn for 12. It's just a bluff. And we will see Swordsoul take it 2-1 in a pretty exciting match there. Hope you guys enjoyed. And leave a like if you did. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Misfit, H8 Cyber, Cadillac84, and Pony Stark. Thank you guys so much as always for your very kind and extremely generous support of this channel.